The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Anthony Dorsett, Damontre Moore, and Newy Scruggs.
It is that time. Players Lounge coming to you on Thursday. We got Anthony Dorsett flexing up here. Gun show out here.
Ooh.
Anthony Dorsett, former NFL player. Damontre Moore, former NFL player. He's Barry Church, former NFL player. I'm merely Newy Scruggs. I ain't playing the league. I just talk about it.
What you got over there, dog? Hey, boy, looking shiny over there, man. That's all I'm going to say, man. That's all I'm going to say. Some people got it, man.
I got a great wife. What can I say?
This show is brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's get right to work. Christian Parker, the new Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator, met the media along with head coach Brian Schottenheimer yesterday. Lots of things he talked about. Out of the gate, people wanted to make sure and get on the record. What kind of defense are you running? So 3-4.
3-4?
With 4-3 concepts.
So I said multiple.
3-4 multiple.
Yes, 3-4 multiple. And one of the questions, Trey, I thought was very good that you wanted to bring in here. They asked Christian about the nickel in his defense, and he said it's very important. In Philadelphia, where he came from, they had Cooper DeJean.
All of them.
Cooper came from the Big Ten. You second-round pick on him. If you remember when Philly won the Super Bowl, he had a pick six of Patrick Mahomes. He was a good football player.
He is. All
Back
pro,
in the Big Ten. But I remember in the Big Ten, he was a really good football player and fell down. And I was like, man, when they got him, I was like, good football player. And they got the most out of him. So
100%.
when they talk about having a nickel and we see what he came from, how does that look for the Cowboys right now? And where do you go? DB?
You know, this is something that we touched on this a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Before we talked about actually which coach was coming in here, we were like, remember, we were trying to guess which guy they would pick. And then we talked about the Parker kid from Philly. And we talked about some of the things that he had already been able to do as far as with DeJean, however you want to say his last name, and Blankenship as well, right? You know what I'm saying? And then he was also in Denver before that, too, as well, right? So he's been around some high-caliber defensive backs. Now, one of the things that we touched on last week was about Witherspoon. Remember talking about you need to have, like, I guess you could say that Swiss Army knife type dude in your defense. And, of course, coming in here, you know, like the Cowboys from pass rush last year and looking at how they were able to get some more pass rush, but, of course, bringing in new guys, but also being able to simulate it. And that's what you talked about, too, as well, like having that dude. So hopefully they'll be able to go out because – We've talked multiple times about Jordan Lewis getting out of the building, you know what I mean, and what of impact that actually had on his defense as far as not only for making plays, but just the leadership side of it. So with this new group coming in here, and I think Blankenship is also maybe a free agent or something.
I think he's free, I want to say, so we can talk about him. Right?
You know what I mean? But they're I'm sure they're going to try to find that guy out there that fits that mold of the player.
So basically, you saying the guy is not in the house right now.
Hey.
I'm just
you seen that guy?
I haven't.
I don't. I'm asking from the DBs.
Right.
I have two great DBs as co-hosts, so I know we broke it down, but do you think that there's anybody, because those guys that you named at Philly, nobody was coming in and saying, they're going to be DBs. If anything, they changed that narrative of, hey, we can go to the other side for that. So he's been a developer. Is there anybody on this roster right now you think he can develop?
You know, so when we look at Revel, okay, now, and he's a big dude.
Big, long corner.
Big guy, okay? But also coming off those injuries and getting thrust into it last year, he took a lot of bumps and bruises, but he learned a lot on the way, too, as well. And I don't even want to say he took a lot of bumps and bruises. He only had a few games where he's out there, you know what I'm saying, and he had some struggles here and there. But for the most part, if you can get a young player like that with that much size and that much range to be able to play from the outside and come inside, you never know what you got in him right now.
So you would move Revel?
No. I'm not saying I'm moving anybody. I'm saying I'm going to allow guys to be
Candidates.
Okay.
Yes. And we're going to see what we got in house right now. Okay. You know what I mean? And if we got that in here, then that alleviates what we have to go out and get. But, if we don't see that, from OTA to whatever the case may be, then, of course, you got to go out there and try to find that guy.
So besides Revel, do you see any other DBs, BC? Because that's the only one that you're mentioning right now.
Bland is a great inside dude, too, as well.
Yeah.
So,
I think Bland could definitely, under the right coaching, another year, if he can stay healthy, I think he can get back to that all-pro level, especially at that nickel position, where it's mostly, eyes and reacting and, seeing what the quarterbacks has out there and trying to jump those route concepts. And he's a smart guy, and he's a ball guy. We've seen it, first couple of years, 14 interceptions. He took 5 back to the house. I mean, the guy's a special defensive back. I think he just needs the right coaching. But when it comes to Parker, I think this is going to be a little bit of a process.
Shout out to the Noops.
Yeah, this is true.
Hey, wait.
I think it's going to be a little bit of a process. I don't think it's going to be quite hit the ground running like we saw with Dan Quinn, a couple years ago when they gave him all those draft picks and, he turned that defense around like that. I don't see that happening right now. Not to say it can happen in the future. I think he can develop those guys into getting to a Philly type of defense. But when you look at it with Parker, he has that 3-4, 4-3 multiple defense. Mm-hmm. With that being said, you got to have guys that have multiple position flex. Mm-hmm. You got to have defensive tackles that can go and play DN, DNs that can go on the inside, linebackers that can be stout against offensive linemen, but also running sideline to sideline. And you got to have those guys in the back end as far as a quarterback of your defense to be able to orchestrate and have people lined up the right way. I mean, having a multiple defense, it's extremely tough. So not only do you have to have the athleticism, but you got to have the guys IQ extremely high back there to get that thing going. And I think it's going to take a while for Parker to make sure everybody's on the same page and getting going in the right direction. Not saying it can't happen, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a process.
Let me just throw a couple free agent names out here. Now, you're right about Reed Blankenship. He is a free agent, former Philly.
Solid safety, too.
So I'm just looking right here at we just go through some safeties. Jalen Hawkins of New England. Cameron Curl, the Rams.
Good safety.
Kevin Byard of Chicago. Brian Cook of Kansas City. Jalen Thompson of Arizona. Aloy Gilman of Baltimore. Kobe Bryant of Seattle. Nick Scott of Carolina. Nick Cross of Indy. Kevon Wallace, Houston. Andre Sisco, the Jets. Jaquan Brisket, Chicago. Harrison Smith,
big class.
That's what I said, man.
Andrew Weigart, Jacksonville. Geno Stone, Cincinnati. Avonte Maddox, Detroit. Jordan Poyer, Buffalo. Obviously, you got Donovan Wilson of the Cowboys. Tony Adams of the Jets. Reed Blankenship of Philly. Tony Jefferson.
This is a big free agent
Chargers.
class. You can get some.
Chuck Clark of Pittsburgh. Miles Bryant of Houston. Anyway, Kyle Duggar from Pittsburgh is out here. So that's Jalen Mills of Detroit. Jabril Peppers, Pittsburgh. So these are a couple of guys out here. That's on the safety
market right now.
Boy.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be in that market right now.
That's going to dilute a lot of funds out there. I'd be like, man.
Hit on the other side, we talk about corners. You got Eric Stokes of Vegas, Jalen Watson of Kansas City, Rasul Douglas of Miami, Jamil Dean of Tampa Bay, Nashawn Wright left here, went up to Chicago, had a good year.
6 picks, yeah.
Hey.
Last chance you.
There it is.
Alante Taylor of New Orleans,
A good corner.
James Pierre of Pittsburgh, Monteric Brown of Jacksonville, Cordell Flott, the Giants, Jack Jones, Miami, Chidobe Awuzie, Baltimore, former Cowboy.
He's still out here getting it. Okay.
Cheeto still getting
Still out here getting
Tariq
it.
Woolen of Seattle, Chauncey Gardner,
bring him home.
Johnson from Chicago. Trayvon Diggs is a free agent.
You shut your mouth.
R.I.P.
Asante Samuel Jr. Is a free agent. Rock Yao-Sin, he's a free agent. Jalen Davis, Cincinnati's out there.
Man, I'm getting old, bro.
Yeah, baby.
A lot of these cats, I'm like, oh, they was rookie cats, and now they up. I'm
That's
like,
what I'm like, bro. I
Just some names that are out. Just some names that are out here.
it's deep.
And so the question starts to become, if the nickel is as critical as he's saying, do you go hit this in free agency?
You got to.
Versus waiting for the draft, because free agency starts in March, draft is in April.
I think, in my opinion, you got to go free agent wise and get an experienced guy. You may draft somebody later on to learn underneath the vet, but with this multiple defense and the nickel being such an important part of this defense, you got to have a guy that's experienced, whether it's in his system or been around, other systems that are similar to this. Because, like I said, you might have that safety in the back end to be able to orchestrate, but you got to have somebody close to the line of scrimmage as well. I know you got linebackers and all that, but them linebackers, they're focused on making sure D line's in the right gaps and all this. You got to have that nickel in there that's experienced that I think can take this defense to the next level. And you got a guy like Bland that can play outside, and I think he's better on the inside than outside. So you might have a guy in that position already, but you got to make sure you got the nickel position right.
In my opinion, and I know I'm the D lineman doing it, but I've been privileged to play in a lot of 3-4 multiple schemes, and with everything that's coming in, Bland, I think, like you said, when he had his most production, he was right there. Mm-hmm. And I think he can really get back to that Pro Bowl mentality under the guidance of him. But I see it being more of an importance on bringing in another corner, because regardless of who you are, injury history and what's been going on with them, you got to have that insurance. So I think you need to go corner. But also, I think of my time when I was at Seattle, you had a guy like KJ Wright that was on the other side that was a really smart outside linebacker, but you had young guys. I forgot the nickelback. I forgot his name, but anyways, he was young at the time. He was a second-round pick, but that guy, that outside linebacker in KJ, he knew so much of the defense that he was coaching up the nickelback. So you're going to have to address both of those in this free agency before you even hit the draft and bring in some veteranship. But when it's interesting to say, because when we say bring in veteranship, like somebody that's experienced, when CP was doing the interview, he said, that doesn't really matter to me. Somebody brought up Clowney being 33 years old and being on the roster, and he was like, hey, we're going to evaluate as such, but age isn't a thing to me. Y'all are asking me about my age being a DC. I don't think that he's having so much as an age thing with bringing a vet in. So I think bringing that vet, I think getting young corners in so you can develop, grow with them, which is your area of expertise, but get a vet linebacker in.
Let's talk about this. I'll try. Okay, this is just my pet peeve. Okay. We talk about Jadeveon Clowney. Mm-hmm. This a dude is, and you've seen, you guys play. There's some dudes who not going to sign because they don't want to go to camp.
Yeah.
He's that dude.
Yeah.
He has no desires to go to training camp. So, talk about bringing him back. When you bring him back, what do you have to do? He got here, they had to play, had to get in shape.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you have time for that?
Dude.
Well,
is he that good that you want to do that?
I wouldn't.
Let me get on there. He's
I'm just asking the question.
No, and I'm going to answer it because I don't have a problem with doing it. He is not that good, but I think also that plays a factor in it with having a younger coach and switching it up, he having the HBCU background and all this, you have the right motivator, and he's going to have to do that. And if he can get him to buy in, I think it's a great pickup in having a vet there, and that's one less area to focus on. And he played well enough last year to say, hey, I deserve to be back here compared to everybody else that is here.
But he's not going to come back.
We don't know that. Don't speak on that.
No, he's not. He ain't come to camp. This man ain't gonna sign no contract. Come to camp. Right. When's the last time he done it? It's not what he does.
It's not about what he's done, and they can speak as former players that you realize when you're on the outskirt and you realize you're not getting top dollar, you start to ask yourself, do I still want to play? And some of the things that you didn't do when you didn't have to, when you had the big name contract, you taking the bullet. Some guys didn't play special teams when they first got into the league, but they know that, hey, I'm a good vet. If I play special teams, this is going to give me an extra year. I really love football.
Is it juice worth the squeeze with that?
Not if he want more than what he did last year. If he want more bread than he did last year, ain't no way, man.
Nah, the thing about Clowney is this, and like you mentioned, he hasn't been to camp in years. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he hasn't been inside a building like this until he got here. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he said about being here was like, oh my goodness, like they got everything. Mm-hmm. You know, from just the bells and the whistles in the building to anything that goes along with what you need as a player. And with that being said, and especially having a new DC in here and this whole new defensive structure, like even if he hasn't done it in the past, it would benefit him and behoove him to do it this year if he actually wants to contribute and be a part of this team.
And piggyback on what you're saying here, Damontre. Okay, so if he's not going to be here training camp, I mean, he's not going to be here for the OTA.
Yeah.
He's not going to be here installed and everything else. And so that's my thing of we bring up his name, but oh, by the way, remember how he's operating. Yeah. Hey, man, I'll see you guys in September.
Yes.
That's crazy.
I don't think you want to bring in a new DC and all these other new coaches. Hey, we getting it like Aaron Rodgers did in Pittsburgh. Yeah. I'm going to wait.
I'll see y'all.
Wait, I'll see y'all here. Is that really what you want to do?
Nah. He's not.
I wouldn't want, and he's not. And when I say juice words, I don't think he's worth that.
Nah. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's definitely not worth that much of. The juice is not worth the squeeze when it comes to that. But the thing about it is, like you said, it's a new thing. And personally, from what CP has been saying in his interviews and stuff like that, I don't think it's one of those things. I think it's going to be hey, we coming in here. This is the contract you're going to take. And can you be here and can we count on you? If we can't count on you for training camp, we just gonna let you rock, player. And CP has shown, like, coming in here, he's cut vets already and said that I don't see them being a scheme fit. And for the biggest thing he said was going to be a key factor in the press conference earlier is communication. How fast can I get in here and talk to my new staff to where we can keep some of the old term, but we can get it going because everybody said
Let's take a break. When we come back, let's dive into that. You guys as former defensive football players, what is that like when you have this could be the fourth coordinator here, terminology, learning exactly what it is they want to do, how much of the other film do you have to go back and look at what he's done in Philly and in Denver to get what you want? Let's dive into that next on the Players Lounge. This is DallasCowboys.com.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together. And we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Returning for the 2025 NFL season, Boss reunites with the Dallas Cowboys to drop the next chapter of their iconic collaboration. The Boss Cowboys collection fuses fashion and football once again, capturing the fearless spirit of what it means to be your own boss. Just in time for kickoff, gear up in standout styles that show your team pride with a bold edge. Available now at NFLshop.com/HugoBoss, HugoBoss.com, and Boss retail stores. # be your own boss.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Listen here loud and clearly. Auditions for the 2026 Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are open in March 13th. Don't miss your chance to audition for America's Sweetheart. Learn more at DallasCowboyscheerleaders.com/audition. We got new cheerleaders out here, short, sweet. Yeah. Hey, be America's Sweetheart, baby.
It is.
That is Damontre Moore, your Texas Aggie in the house. You got Barry Church, the Toledo Rocket, the Hall of Famer, and you got Anthony Dorsett, Pittsburgh Panther in the house.
HOF.
Oh, did your ceremony? How'd your ceremony go, man?
Man, it was an awesome ceremony, man. It was pretty cool. They gave us some good, I guess you could say, like a trophy. And dude, I had no idea that Drew Timme shot 75% from the field in high school.
That's crazy, man.
75%
Drew
from the field,
Timme.
okay?
Yeah. He was cold.
Yeah, I had no idea. You know what I'm saying?
He Gonzaga dude, right?
Definitely.
Gonzaga.
Yeah. And it was cool to go in with everybody because Chris Jackie went in too as well. And of course I had some familiarity with him. And I knew about Drew, but I just didn't know Drew's numbers. And some of those numbers, I'm sitting there, I'm like,
He was cold, bro.
what, dude?
Yeah, he was
You know what I mean? But the school hadn't done that since 2018. I thought it was something that they actually did almost every year.
Oh, nice.
Bring
so
it
that
back
was
to
it definitely added a little bit extra to it. But it was a cool ceremony, man. The band out there, cheerleaders. Yeah, it was nice. It was a lot more than what I expected.
Y'all's trophy room is probably crazy. Like thinking of everything that y'all got in that house.
Man, just listen.
Imagine if you put his whole family together with everything that they have. Like
awards.
Yeah, y'all don't know about my cousin Jerry Summers, played Major League Baseball. Like we got several, and it's people associate football with my mom. I mean, I'm sorry, with my dad. But the majority of my family that has actually participated has been on my mom's side too as well.
Word.
My dad was the number 3 pick of the draft that year. My cousin Gary Jeter and
Gary Jeter, huh?
Yeah, Gary
Rams and
Jeter was
Giants.
the number 7 pick of that draft. Okay.
You got athletic
family.
I had the Playboy All-American. My dad on this page, my cousin on this page, same year.
That's
all right.
number
Them
3,
Matthews over there.
So, shout out to the Jeter family. You know what I'm saying? It's part of my family.
That's
My
wild.
grandmother's a Jeter, and
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's been a lot of people.
Salute, brother. Salute.
Definitely. All right, you listen to Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. I'm Newy Scruggs. Okay, new DC coming in here, obviously looking more for 3-4 scheme and running some 4-3 concepts. As former players, when you get a new DC in here who's going to change the front a little bit, terminology, what are the things that you have to learn? What is the work that you as a player have to do now to learn what it is these coaches want?
In my younger career, like when first started, I had who was in there? Pascaloni was in there. You know, Wade, Paul Pascaloni. Wade was in there a little bit. Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had him in there. I had Wade, and then of course we had Kiffin and Marinelli and all them. And it was tough as a younger player coming in here because each year was different, and each year was and Rob Ryan as well, who had one of the hardest defensive playbooks I've ever come across. But it was tough because you weren't used to the terminology and how certain coaches want to run cover 3 versus cover 2, because there's so many different variations and variables that each defensive coach has when they run a simple cover 3 or a simple cover 2. Sometimes they like to have the safety down. Sometimes they like to have the corner. It's so backwards. So as a younger player, I really struggled with that. But as I became a veteran and I had the Marinellis and then the Todd Washes and all those guys, it came a lot easier because I was experienced. So I say, okay, I'm going to Jacksonville. It's the same coverage here. The terminology is just a little bit different. That's it. So in my mind, I would take from what I had with the Cowboys to Jacksonville and say, okay, this is what they mean when they say we want to, drop safety in there. They call it Larry. We called it Lou over here. So I just kind of got the terminology and I got that down first before I kind of got the defense to kind of know it like the back of my hand. So for me, it was easier older, but younger. It was tough. It was tough.
You hope that you've been in a situation, of course, if you had a new DC coming in, that you have some familiarity with some of the things that he likes to call too as well. Mm-hmm. There are only so many coverages once you get down to it. You could go 0 through 6 or however you want to break them down. But at the end of the day, like as a defensive back, you really want to have some type of, I guess, basis of all of them from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so then with that, just like Barry said, it's about just like creating terminology and like comparing it to this. You know what I mean? Over here, we rock and roll. Over here, we're going to go shifting down. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those type of things through repetition. And as you're actually, taking your notes and stuff like that, but the majority of football players are great visual learners.
Okay, so explain to the listeners here when you talk and viewers about what rock and roll may mean to switching. So
okay, so say me and Barry playing safety. We're both in the safeties, and we're more so interchangeable safeties. We don't have to be as strong. He doesn't have to be a free. Motion comes across. The formation dictates something needs to happen in the backfield. In the secondary, we don't got to move. Hey, yo, I'll go down, you go back. We're rocking and rolling. We're communicating with each other, letting him know that I'll take his responsibility. Now he takes mine. All right. And like I was saying, primarily most football players, like y'all know, we're great visual learners. You show us something on video, we can 9 times out of 10 go out there and do it. And that's part of the film study anyway, especially as a young player. You're always trying to find little things from other people's games that you could actually put into your game. You know what I'm saying? To add to your bag, as we like to say. So with that being said, you got the terminology, then you got the video to go along with it, and you just hope that between that and the communication that's actually being done in the room, that it all comes together.
So when you say rock and roll,
Yes.
Is that where you guys are talking to each other on the field? And you'll just look at him and say, rock and roll?
Yeah.
So it's emotion. So, like, let's just say the strength is on the left side.
Okay.
So there's more receivers on the left than there is on the right. They bring one of those receivers from the left over to the right to make the right the strength now. We're just rocking and rolling responsibilities. So if I'm on a strong safety, I'm on the strong side right here, and I'm down in the hook.
So they start with 3 over here, start with trips over here, and then put a man in motion over here.
It makes it
now
2 by 2. And now he becomes the free safety, and I become the strong safety instead of vice versa.
And so you're calling it rock and roll.
Yeah.
You're saying the terminology may be different, that now rock and roll means what?
Now rock and roll could be like Larry, like Lyndon Larry, or just whatever the terminology they use in that team to let each other know, like, hey, you go down, I'm going back, or whatever.
And if you're on the right side, it's always a word that starts with an R. Right. So on the left side, you coming down, hey, Larry, that means the left safety's coming down. If they switch motions and now the strength is on the right side, Ringo, Rocky. That means that safety, the right side safety is coming down. So it's pretty good.
And so anyway, just something that's simple. You guys know. I want to make sure people out there have a better understanding of that. So now that's pretty.
And that's on the flat. And then if you go and drop it into the hook, which is like the hook area, then it's a different L and R word. Like,
so just even based on what you're saying, it's important to get people in here.
Oh, you got to be. You got to be.
I mean, in the offseason, I understand what this is.
One of the things we talked about last year watching the Cowboys on defense is that it was never any pre-snap communication. Like, never.
People were just sitting there.
It was never like anybody saw a formation. It was like recognized the play, saw a motion coming. It was never none of that. You know what I mean? And so you really want to get to a place that, like, as the play is coming or developing or something like that, or whether it be from the hit chart. And if you don't know what a hit chart is your tendency chart. There's some players out there who don't even study video as much as they study tendencies. All right, so they know on third down they go to a trips formation and such is to the boundary. They know 9 times out of 10 there's going to be 2 plays called out of that. Right? And so when you have that type of stuff going on, it makes and it helps for guys to just be able to eliminate plays before they happen.
And if you're watching defenses, you'll see, if you watch a TV copy of all 22, the better defenses or the good defense, you'll always see just animation, just guys talking, watch this, shots, watch this. There's always talking, always moving, and then right before the snap, they get into the position. It's never like, all right, the offensive's lined up, and we're all just stagnant. Better defenses are always talking, whether he's talking to the D-line, the corners, the safeties, everybody's talking.
Got to take a break. When we come back, an interesting mock draft pick. What we've been talking about here, could this mock draft pick fit into what Christian Parker wants for the defense? Let's do that next right here. Players Lounge brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming on DallasCowboys.com.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're maxing out overhead presses, pushing through chest flies, or being the hero your golden retriever needs to carry them over that scary bridge, Smoothie King has the fuel to help you go all out. Build muscle and boost your recovery with 45 grams of protein, 0 grams of added sugar, and delicious customizable ingredients in the Gladiator Smoothie. Available in chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Only at Smoothie King.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Lone Star Smokeout is back in Arlington, April 24th through the 26th. Watch the headliners, Riley Green, Shabuzi, Cole Wetzel, and Shabuzi. Yes, sir. That's my guy. And more at the 3-day Outdoor Country Music Festival. Plus, enjoy barbecue for some of the best pit masters in the country. Get your tickets now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium.
You have fun out there, Trey. Let me know.
No, I'm going to get it.
That sounds good.
What?
I'm good. I got Anthony Dorsett, Barry Church,
Yo.
Trey Moore, all three former NFL players. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. Okay, so Charles Davis. Love Charles Davis. Think he's an excellent broadcaster. Came out with one of his mock drafts. So at 20, he's got the Cowboys going to the University of Toledo.
Oh, you already know it. You already know
Going to Toledo.
Yeah.
For Emmanuel McNeil Warren.
Number 7.
Okay.
7.
That's a safety?
Yeah.
Yes, is a safety.
Put him in the chat the other day.
Okay. So
Look good, boy.
He does.
Look good.
Versatile.
now here's also kind of my thought process. Bring it to you guys. Now, when Christian Parker was in Philly, they took the corner from Toledo.
Guantanamo Bay.
Ended up being a part of their Super Bowl team.
All pro player. DBU, that's what they say.
You guys,
Some people say. Some people say.
so you guys know there are some coaches who have an affinity for players who come from certain programs that they have success. They understand the technique, that kind of stuff. I don't know if he's that kind of guy, but when I throw that out there, if you are Parker and you know, hey, look, here's a position. Not sure if he can play the nickel here or not. Not sure, but you do have a safety concern, and you got Malik Hooker getting older here, so it's not like it's not something you don't need. And you got Donovan Wilson, who's a free agent. Looking at a player like that, what are your thoughts?
I like it. I mean, you bring some youth in there. This is a guy. I don't know about the nickel because I don't know how his feet are or anything like that, but as a safety, he can play both free and strong. He can play in the box. He can play on the deep end. I've seen him be able to be that red line to red line safety. And for those who don't know what that is 6 or 5 yards from the line from the sideline. A safety is supposed to be able to get to that point on either side when there's a deep pass. So he got the range back
Ball
there.
25 yards in the air or more, you should be able to get to that red line.
You should be able to. If you're a good rangy deep safety, you should be able to do that. So he has the ability to do that. Now, I don't know the defense they played in Toledo, so I don't know if he was back there calling plays or making sure everybody's lined up, because you do need one of those guys for the Dallas Cowboys as a deeper safety. But I like it. Yeah, I think it's a good spot. And where was Parker at when I was getting drafted? If you like Toledo Cats so much, where was you at when I was getting drafted? But I like it, man. Of course, it's the home team, so I like it.
He was at HBCU.
No,
Yeah, I think that from what we saw him on just the clips the other day, that it was in the group chat with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The play that he made coming from the middle of the field, head turning and getting back over to the opposite side of the field, like, not taking away from any of the guys that we've seen in the secondary here this past year, but I didn't see anybody make that play from the Cowboys last year. All right, and just his field awareness and just what those few little clips that we were able to see the other day, like I was pretty impressed. Now I don't know who he was playing against, but like just his body control and what he was able to do, that he has a high upside. And so like if he's actually there, and that's the pick at 20. You said
your second pick.
So
your second pick.
and then like it goes on to say like who's the DB coach at Toledo?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like it might be that dude as well.
Who's getting these guys,
you know what I'm saying? And so like the coaches from Philly or from wherever else may recognize that, hey, that's a solid DB coach over there. He's equipping these dudes with the skills that they need before they get here. So let's keep going back over there and see what he's producing.
Got that pipeline over there.
And that's why I brought it up here to say, hey, wait a minute, there's something there. And you guys are former football players, and you all know and played in programs where you saw guys come through that after a while, what's in the water is just I mean, I go back to my friend Dennis Thurman. He's at USC. He's an upperclassman, just freshman falling around named Ronnie Lott.
That's crazy.
And, and you know what? Good follow good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what did he do? You get some of the smart ones like, okay, let me just walk this road he's been on here. So anyway, I mean, it's having Trayvon Diggs and Patrick Surtain back there in the same backfield at the University of Alabama. Like, okay, the concepts are going on here, and Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, and what they had developed through the years. NFL teams, okay, we like these guys.
Right.
They're coming here with a concept of what we want to do. So that's why I thought about that. The kid they took from Philly, from Toledo, turned out to be a heck of a good football player for them. He's got a Super Bowl ring. So if this young man is a safety, he's played with him, and they can have some of the same mindset, maybe that's where a Christian Parker says, maybe I want that. That's just my thought process. Without talking to anybody, just me thinking and just seeing how things work from time to time.
Hey, coaches, they typically, just like players, they're ritualistic, I guess. I made up that word right there. But they don't, what they say, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. I think of my tenure when I was at the Panthers, Matt Rule, he loved, like, his guys. Like, he brought in his guys. You think about guys like Pete Carroll that I played up under. He loved his guys. Like, he coached those guys and brought them into there. So when you talk about him bringing in Toledo, a younger guy, and having the success that he has had with these DBs, I think it is going to be, I think it's a great fit, actually. And not even just so much as what he can do, getting depth, because you don't have no depth right now. You're trying to go out there. This might be one of those drafts where you'll see them draft 3 or 4 DBs, or if you go get you a vet during free agency, you're going to come in there and that whole new season, it's like 4 or 5 DBs walking into the room and you already got everybody on the roster. It's like the Wild Wild West. We're going to shoot it out. Now, the bigger question is, does the head man, Jerry, and everybody else like that pick? Because CP can go in there, and this is what's going to tell us right now, for viewers and y'all who are listening out there, go out there and watch it. If he gets this guy and gets this pick, that lets you know that Jerry says, I believe in my DC. I'm giving him the tools like I did with Dan Quinn. If they go offensive, O-lineman, somebody else, or this and that, it's like, hey, hold on, maybe you're not as important.
No, see, I'll disagree with you from this standpoint. I go back to when C.D. Lamb was drafted. I remember we did the mock drafts. Barry, you and I were like, they need to take Diggs. They need to take Diggs. And here's C.D. Lamb, clearly one of the best wide receivers in college football. They were like 4 or 5 guys go before him, and they were like, oh, we got to take him. Even though they had Amari Cooper and they had Michael Gallup, they're like, this dude right here, we got to take him. And so Stevens even said, we are not going to marry ourselves to a defensive player, because if somebody wants to do something this dumb, let a great player, we're going to do that.
That goes without saying, but you still got to – yes, there's some talent to where it's like, this guy dropped, we got to take him. But that's what it goes in the draft. Let's say everything goes as planned and where it is right there, and nobody drops like that has amazing star power, that's a running back or something like that. You're going to see in that first pick of like, hey, we're going to give CP and let him go. Are we going to give the carpenter his tools?
You got to have I understand. You want a blueprint of this is what we think we want to do. But you can't necessarily be married to it because you don't know who's at. I remember, all right, the Broncos were going to take a quarterback one year. They were going to take a quarterback. But then they had Bradley Chubb fall to him. And they're like, well, you know what? This is a premier defensive end out of NC State. This is a guy to put up numbers. And they said, no, we're going to go with Bradley Chubb. Yeah. Now, the unfortunate thing is the quarterback he was going to take was this dude named Josh Allen.
Ooh, that's bad.
So just saying, it can go either way. It can go. You know what? The Cowboys got lucky that they got Diggs in the second round. They got CeeDee Lamb first. So Trey, I'm just saying is, you can have hey, we want to help secure our defense, but you've got to be open enough to say, hey, man, I won't be married to it because there's something to sit. I mean, think of how many people passed on Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Well, we got this guy. And, Tennessee passed on like twice. Randy Moss, the same thing where people were passing on the guy.
Lamar.
Yeah, he did.
There's some guys you can't pass on, but it's like, I'm not saying I'm married to the DB pick because I'm biased. I'm gonna go look for a pass rusher. I think that, like, especially in the 3-4 scheme and switching everything up. Like, I just more so say, if you get a defensive pick in this first pick, I see that as a tell as being a former player. Like, you trust in your DC. As a player that's here, Kenny Clark, one of the big three headed horsemen that's down there, if they go get a defensive player, I'm saying, hey, my owner is over here. He's really trying to build in us and, like, believes in what we're seeing versus overloading a offense that was already number one in what they did last year. So that shows me where the respect goes in the first pick.
I think that regardless if it's a pick or not, one thing that Parker's definitely going to have to do, he's going to have to get somebody in here that's familiar with his system. All right, you're going to have that voice that transcends from the sideline to on the field.
Agreed.
And if he brings in a vet that's actually played with him as well and has been part of his system somewhere else, I think that's going to be a big benefit regardless of who they take in the draft or who they pick up wherever else. You got to get his voice on the field somewhere. So if it's the safety, if it's a backer, whatever the case may be. And right now we know, we keep talking about the DBs and the nickel, but we know the Cowboys have got to get stronger at linebacker.
Got to. They got one of them young cats from Philly who's a free agent, the linebacker, Nakobe Dean.
Oh, yeah.
He was out there a little bit.
And not so much as get a vet, just get somebody that's sound, that's mentally sound. Because, like you said, when you become a vet, it's not so much as the technique. We all can get that. We got the technique getting here. It's more so the terminology. And if you can get somebody that, say, a journeyman that's been productive, or somebody that say, hey, I can rationalize this and say, oh, all the states are covered too. All the, this right here, and I can box this in here and get in here and learn. That's going to be the most important part. Who can learn on the fly when you're coming in?
Agreed.
Well, the beauty of it is they've got a lot of options, and we're starting to see now just a little bit of what they've got. The defensive staff is set here. They have a vision of what they want to do, and that's half the battle. What is our vision? Who are we? Where do we want to go? So it's good to see that Brian Schottenheimer's got his guy in here, and they're going to go forward with that. The beauty is, we're running out of time here in February, so we're about to hit free agency in March.
Combine coming up.
Draft coming up in April. So a lot of stuff to do and get done here.
Next week, Combine next
week.
So we're going to start seeing
the underwear Olympics.
If you run slow, don't run. Just go ahead, don't run. If you
don't
slow,
pull no
don't run.
Hey, boy, they was cussing me out when I ran into somebody that didn't run good. You don't say nothing to me. You ran good. Don't say nothing to me. It was seriously.
Wait, hold on. Another player?
Yes, bro. Yes. It goes like that. He was mad. It was sensitive.
Sensitivity. There was a Ralph Tres fans out there, boy. Sensitivity.
Hey, if you don't run, hey, don't run. Hey. Tell them to check my tape, man.
Check the tape.
Golly,
hey,
I'm telling
aren't you glad that they could do that now that they got the power and option?
Yeah.
I wish I could have told them, go watch my tape. I let the next get sacks.
So what's do you just say I'm not gonna run? Do you like, hey man, I got a sore hammy? What do you use? A big line?
I had to run and I ran slow.
When I came out, that's when people started using injuries. But now, like, I'm talking to my agent. Some people just tell them straight up, I'm not gonna run.
Yeah,
like, I know it.
Or go to my pro day or something.
Like Jarvis Jones is the biggest one that I feel like that started that trend in the 2013 draft where he said, I don't need to do this. Like, I'm going here. And everybody said, oh, now that we got the power, we're doing it. So,
or you just be like Deion Sanders. You come there, run take your shoes, and I'm done. Let's say I'm not doing anything else. You just saw it.
They do now.
And my goodness gracious, Deion was right. Okay, Anthony Dorsett, Trey Moore, Barry Church, I'm Newy Scruggs. For Chris Beam, Josh, everybody makes it here happen. DallasCowboys.com. We're out.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?